Thornton Township is proving, once again, that removing Tiffany Henyard doesn't mean the circus left town. If anything, the spotlight just shifted, and now the money trail is looking messier than ever. People thought once Tiffany was out, the corruption would just magically vanish. But nope, welcome to Thornton Township, where the numbers don't add up. The excuses don't make sense, and the people in charge seem allergic to transparency. Let's unpack it. The trustees and their inflated paychecks start with the trustees: Mary Avant, Chris Gonzalez, Valeria Stubbs, and Byron Stanley. On paper, each of them is making $14,710 a year. Sounds fine. Until you crack open the township's own salary schedule. According to the rules, only one of them should be getting that amount. Gonzalez, as a second-term trustee, qualifies for the $14,710 paycheck. But Avant, Stubbs, and Stanley, they're first-term trustees, which means their salaries should be capped at $11,195. That's a difference of $3,515 per trustee. Now multiply that by 3. That's over $10,000 in taxpayer money every year, quietly slipping into the wrong pockets. Nobody has an explanation. Nobody is even pretending to justify it. How does something this blatant get ignored? You can't chalk this up to math mistakes. This is deliberate, systemic, and let's just say it, fraudulent. Thornton residents are being scammed in plain sight, and the trustees are walking around as if it's business as usual. Robert Hunt, the untouchable money man, next up. Robert Hunt, the township's finance director. Somehow, this guy is like a political cockroach. He's survived both the Henyard and Zuccarelli administrations without a scratch. He's still sitting comfortably in that office chair, pulling in $116,455 a year while the township bleeds cash. You'd think a six-figure finance director would, at minimum, take responsibility when a resident asks questions about the township's tentative budget. But not Robert Hunt. When pressed, he didn't step up. He passed the responsibility to Clerk Casey Nesbitt. Excuse me? If your job title is literally finance director, how is it not your job to explain the numbers? This man is pocketing more than most residents in Thornton make in 2 years, and yet he's allergic to accountability. It's like he's figured out the secret to surviving in Thornton Township. Stay quiet, stay out of sight, and keep cashing the checks. Clerk Casey Nesbitt and the homework fumble. Speaking of Clerk Casey Nesbitt, she's pulling in $17,825 a year while also serving as the township's FOJA officer. When asked if her salary lines up with the official pay schedule, she confidently said yes. But here's the kicker: when she provided proof, she only sent a document listing her salary, not the full salary schedule, just hers. That's like turning in your homework with nothing but your name scribbled at the top and saying, "See? Done." It's sketchy at best, laughable at worst. Transparency isn't supposed to mean show only the part that makes me look good. If you're so confident everything is above board, then why hide the bigger picture? Antoine Russell, the Highway Commissioner upgrade. Let's move on to Highway Commissioner Antoine Russell. According to township rules, a first-term commissioner's salary should be $17,825. But Russell, he's collecting $27,519. That's almost $10,000 more than the job allows. Nobody's questioning it. Nobody's investigating. It's like Thornton Township just collectively decided to stop caring whether salaries match the rulebook. Imagine if you went to work, ignored your employment contract, and just told payroll, "Actually, I think I deserve an extra $10,000 this year." You'd be laughed out of the building. But in Thornton Township, that's not a scandal, it's a perk of the job. The assessor and the food pantry guy, then we've got Township Assessor Cassander. It's pulling in $53,716 a year. Nobody's called her salary into question yet, but let's be real. Given the township's track record, are we really supposed to assume hers is the one clean paycheck in the whole building? And let's not forget Heath Price, the man running the Harvey food pantry and a former Tiffany Henyard insider. Back in Tiffany's heyday, Price was loud, confrontational, and always in the mix. Now, he's quiet, approachable, almost mellow. What changed? Oh, maybe the fact that he's pulling in $72,219 a year? Funny how a cushy paycheck can calm someone down. The food pantry gig looks like the perfect hiding spot. He's still collecting hefty checks, but without the drama, without the Facebook Live rants, without the public confrontations. Some folks whisper that he's still moving like Henyard's shadow, just a quieter version. The Napoleon Harris payday now. Let's rewind to the Napoleon Harris saga. Remember that rally at the Gym-the-One where Tiffany cried foul after? She and her crew got locked out. She claimed she was banned like someone being denied access to a VIP section. We all rolled our eyes. But in the end, Napoleon Harris got exactly what he wanted. Now he's sitting pretty, raking in over $200,000 from the township alone. On top of his $89,000 state salary, the man is eating good while the people of Thornton are scraping by. No scrutiny, no questions, no accountability. He's dining first. Class and the taxpayers are footing the bill. The bigger question, so what does all of this tell you about Thornton Township? That Tiffany Henyard wasn't the only problem. She was the loudest problem, sure. She created her fair share of disasters, no question. But these shady salary discrepancies, these sweetheart deals, and this culture of silence, they're still happening without her? It forces a bigger question. How many people were complicit in the mismanagement of township funds? Tiffany may have been the face of corruption, but what if she wasn't the only one? What if she was just the loudest voice in a room full of people quietly doing the same thing? It makes you wonder if some of the wild accusations she threw around we laughed off as Tiffany being Tiffany actually had kernels of truth. The budget hearing, here's where the story gets even more urgent. On Tuesday, July 22nd at 5 p.m., Thornton Township will hold a public hearing to review budget proposals for the General Fund, General Assistance, and the Road and Bridge Fund. That's your money. Those are your tax dollars. And based on everything we've seen so far, you should be very concerned about where they're going. This is the perfect time for residents to show up, speak out, and demand real answers. Because clearly something hasn't been adding up for a long time. The political theater, here's the kicker. The loudest voices who dragged Tiffany for misusing township funds are now silent. Where's that same outrage over trustees pocketing extra money? Where's the outrage over Russell's inflated salary? Where's the outrage over Robert Hunt hiding behind the clerk? This was really about protecting taxpayer funds, shouldn't the critics be just as loud now? Or was it never about accountability in the first place, just about controlling who holds the purse strings? To the people pushing false narratives, especially those targeting black women in leadership, check yourselves. Swapping out one corrupt leader for another corrupt leader isn't progress. It's political theater. Thornton Township doesn't need quieter corruption. It needs accountability. And for the folks who rode the anti-Tiffany wave straight into Napoleon Harris's camp, congratulations. You're about to get front row seats to the next scandal. Final word, and to whoever. I thought it was a good idea to publicly thank Tiffany Henyard. Please, sit down. If you're going to praise someone, at least make sure they left the place better than they found it. Otherwise, you just sound ridiculous. Thank you for your service. For what? Lavish trips on the township's dime? Gutting the budget? While allies covered tracks? Come on now. This isn't just about one corrupt official. It's about a culture of unchecked power, quiet greed, and leaders who refuse to lead. Thornton Township isn't a punchline, it's a warning. Because if people don't start asking hard questions and showing up to these meetings, don't be shocked when your tax dollars vanish into someone else's administrative expense. So yes, we'll be watching that budget hearing. Be watching Napoleon Harris. We'll be watching Robert Hunt, Casey Nesbitt, and every other official suddenly allergic to transparency. Because if Tiffany Henyard taught us anything, it's this. The people talk. People talk.